Thinking about how to make financial information more accessible to more people got me thinking about the financial crisis that we started experiencing about 14 or 15 months ago as the market was falling, and I was trying to figure out how do we tell people that there's going to be an end to this, that it's all going to be okay. And I realized that we needed to try some unconventional techniques to get people to pay attention to something other than their fear. So I wrote the piece that you're about to see, which is called Securities Pricing, Micro and Macroeconomic Effects and the Velocity of Money. The other title is It Won't Go to Zero. The market right now could be the worst you've seen, with nearly every news program and magazine saying the worst is coming when it's already so bad. And the statement from your 401k's looking so sad. You may be wondering if it'll just fall and fall, so you haven't got any money left at all. Things are bad, it's true, and they may get worse. But what you should know if you're a worried person is this. The markets are resilient, and although they may bend, they won't break. The stock downturn will come to an end. I can't say what might finally make things turn around, but eventually we will get back on solid ground. I'm not here to be some investment hero. I'm just letting you know the market won't go to zero. Individual stocks, they could get wiped out. Think of Enron or Lehman Brothers. There's no doubt that the risk of any company could get kind of big. Fortunately, there's a simple way to rig our invested equities so they'll be more resilient. Diversify your stocks. It's the single most brilliant technique to be sure that if some go down, you'll have others that eventually will come back around. A good way to do this, in my professional view, is with mutual funds that have gotten the clue that if you track a broad index, then it's harder to go wrong. The S&P 500 say should be pretty strong. 1,000 of the largest corporations on earth can't realistically be thought to be at risk of being worth nothing. The markets are resilient, and although they may bend, they won't break. The stock downturn will come to an end. I can't say what might finally make things turn around, but eventually we will get back on solid ground. Businesses are suffering and sales are slow, so it's natural to see a stock's value heading low. But even though some companies are having fits, that's not saying every one of them will call it quits. The weaker may go under, but the strong will survive. Position for recovery when they will thrive. Meanwhile, they've got staff to pay. Those employees take their incomes and decide which way they'll spend their money. Not just on food and clothes, but on all of that other stuff that CEOs get their companies to sell us. And when we buy from them, their employees get their money from the ATM. And so it goes on, with every dad, niece, and wife in a financially interconnected circle of life. That's why the markets are resilient, and although they may bend, they won't break. The stock downturn will come to an end. I can't say what might finally make things turn around, but eventually we will get back on solid ground. I'm not here to be some investment hero. I'm just letting you know the markets won't go to zero. Now the market's success, it's not from corporate greed. We each like different work, so business has to succeed. Suppose you want some bread. You might decide to bake it. Where will you get all the things you need to make it? Will you culture the yeast? Will you mill the flour? Or buy them at the grocery and be done in an hour? We don't want to do everything for our living. We get others to do some of it and won't mind giving them a piece of our money, some of our cash. It's okay with us if they fatten their stash, so long as we get enough in return. And that is the secret that I want you to learn. We all help each other economically, and I'll pay you if what you offer benefits me enough to want it. The markets are resilient, and although they may bend, they won't break. The stock downturn will come to an end. I can't say what might finally make things turn around, but eventually we will get back on solid ground. Suppose all those stocks in the S&P went to zero, all 500 simultaneously. No one's buying what they're selling. I'll be blunt, we wouldn't need to own stocks. We need to know how to hunt. But you own more than stocks? Sure you do. You've got to have some bonds and cash equivalents too. That's how you keep from selling out your stocks when they're down. You hold on to your equities till they come around and use the money that's safer, not so volatile, if you need to spend some cash in the meanwhile. Just like diversified investments are the equity key, a truly balanced portfolio is what we like to see. Not to shoot for the moon, not to go for the greed, but to fit with your life, with what you want and you need, and it helps you. That the markets are resilient, and although they may bend, they won't break. The stock downturn will come to an end. I can't say what might finally make things turn around, but eventually we will get back on solid ground. I'm not here to be some investment hero. I'm just letting you know the markets won't go to zero. FinancialSelfConfidence.com